All right, guys. I think we are live on Facebook, so I'm not sure who wants to.
Are we live? Oh, baby.
Yes.
It's your moment. It's your moment, Morgan.
Then I'm going to tell you all the stories all over again, so look amazed. Okay?
So,
All
Morgan,
right.
I can edit this out if you tend to, curse, or if you have any crazy stories. I can edit it tomorrow.
Oh, I
If you,
shouldn't say
okay, so you're gonna
f***.
you're gonna
Which
give me a
I
little
said that
laugh.
on WJM, What's on Joe Mind.
Yeah.
And I went, and we were supposed to, and I said, well, what the am I supposed to say?
This is a kids show. No, it's really not. We're all a bunch of 40.
You guys are grown up. Come on.
Yeah.
Morgan, thank you so much because they give me so much for my swearing. So it's so nice to have somebody else who isn't afraid to say.
Good.
I'm enjoying myself so much right now.
Well, I'm loving having you here. So.
Oh my gosh.
You know.
We are giving Carson so much work tomorrow.
You two
I love you.
I'm gonna have a lot of beeping to do tomorrow.
My co-grandma loves it when I say because I don't think she knows anybody else who says it, and she just goes.
That's awesome.
My great-grandmother, she's passed now, but many years ago they rented a movie called The Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. And
God, yes.
As grandmas do. So they didn't know what this movie was when they rented it. It was my stepmother, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother. So at some point she fell asleep during this movie. But when she woke up, she said, "Is that movie over yet?"
I love it.
Oh,
it's going to be a wild one tonight, folks. Welcome to G.I.JOE
All right,
Debriefed.
Beep.
Who the f***'s doing the intro?
Yeah. Well, welcome to G.I.JOE Debriefed. My name is Brandon Jerwa. I am joined by Robert Atkins, Tom Feister, Carson the Fobbit. And hey, who wants to introduce our guest? Do we all want to do it at once because we're so excited? Everybody yell at once. Who's here? 1, 2, 3.
Oh
my gosh, it's Morgan
Lofting!
I'm glad I remember.
Wait, I'm sorry. I have to do this. It's Morgan Lofting.
Oh, okay.
Morgan, you have a very special role in G.I. Joe history. You contributed in many ways, but I have to say that as a writer, anytime I have written the Baroness, I hear your voice.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Every time. There's no other version.
Not some wonderful British actress who I adore doing it on camera, and not some Russian accented Joni Come Lately who's all right, there's your cue for the word. Okay. And
oh, it's going to be a good one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, number one, without a doubt. But you had a question to ask. Please ask your question.
Oh, well, I had Robert, artist, and you're a penciler. What is a penciler exactly?
Well, so in as far as the comic book process goes, I would get a script, right, from someone like Brandon, a writer who's been working with the editor to come up with the story and the plot. And it's up to the artist or the writer or the creative team. So it'd be penciler, inker, colorist. You would work as a team. Unless you're doing some of those jobs all together.
Are you doing the basic drawing number one? Is that?
Yeah, so the penciler, you usually come first, and we interpret that script visually. Okay. So, I'd been a penciler on G.I. Joe for a number of years. Tom had worked on G.I. Joe Origins for quite a while, and so the both of us have kind of been drawing on the property.
And you did the Fun Public comics.
Sure, yes. For a few of them, a couple of them. The one for that year in particular that you're talking about in Springfield, I was the artist on that book.
Okay. Yeah, God, I mean, Pete Singer, Yes, I like Pete Singer and Brian.
Yeah. No, it's well, I mean, all of us are here because we love the property, and so it's always a joy to work on. It was really great to draw that one in particular.
Okay. Well, because of you, I texted Larry Hama, and where is it? I wrote it down. Hang on. And I said, tell me, well, actually, he wrote it down, and I Xeroxed it. I said, tell me something about the Baroness that I don't know about you creating the Baroness that I don't know.
Oh,
Because I said, folks, I think I'm repeating myself when people ask me questions. So anyway, this is what he said. When I sat down to write the first issue of the G.I. Joe comic, I suddenly realized that none of the Cobra characters had faces. Almost impossible to do visual storytelling without agents of expression. So I decided to make up a character without facial covering. Okay. And while I was at it, I thought, hey, it should be a hot babe. And why not have her wearing a complete black leather outfit?
Oh, yeah.
So we inserted Baroness into the first issue, and the response was so positive that Hasbro went ahead and produced the figure.
That's
I
right.
did not know that.
It was meant to be.
That's what
Yeah.
Larry said. Well, you know, folks, that may be a cleaned up version of how all this came about, you know, because I got to tell you, as far as the figure went, it was a while before I could find the figure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
really?
it was all guys all the time. And I finally, I think my son found one and gave it to me. And I had it in my old Ford. It wasn't an old Ford then, but it is now if I still had it. And the thing, it had a big vent on the dashboard. And
Oh no.
What?
yeah, at some point,
Your
yes.
Baroness is stuck in an old Ford somewhere.
No, not anymore, because I gave the car to my son when I got another car, and the thing went on fire in front of a fire.
Oh wow.
Oh, no.
I mean, so I think the Baroness went up in flames. This little rubber thing was,
Wow.
you know, yeah.
Now, Morgan, when you went out for the show, did you try out for the Baroness, or was there several characters, or how did you?
No, I just remember trying out, for the Baroness. I think what Don Jerwich was trying to do, and he cast it, he directed the first couple of shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he was trying to do was just set the majors. Although when we got to the first session, there was this funny looking guy called Chris Latta. Everybody said, what in the hell is Chris Latta? Well, I guess he came out of stand-up. I mean, have you ever seen his stand-up routine on YouTube?
Now I'm gonna have to look for it. This
No.
is Cobra
Yeah, I'll have to look
Commander,
for it.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got the shades on. And he's very... Bill Shatner introduces him and he goes, "Rawr!" And then proceeds to go out into the crowd and eviscerate everybody. So it's a
I
very,
have to look that up.
yeah. It's very, and he himself was a very low-key, unassuming person. If you gave him a character, whoa! Anyway, crazy. But it's nice to have a mask. Who shall I be? I mean, one
So,
great thing about her was that I got to do all these other people who would then pull off the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I know you've done in front of the camera work as well. What do you prefer? Do you prefer voice acting or in front of the camera?
Well, I can be so many different people as a voice actor. Actually, stage stuff I did on stage a long time ago is if you haven't been on stage, you're not really gonna. Well, you've been in front of people. You've presented, right, with a big audience. You begin to get a vibe between you and the crowd. And when you're in a play, you also get that vibe. So it informs your performance. It's not going to change your character, but it's gonna buoy it up. So I guess theater and then voiceover, because I mean, come on, when I did the syndicated Spider-Man, I got to be the Black Cat and Aunt May. I mean,
Oh, that's a trip to the psychiatrist's office.
Yeah.
ever I've heard one.
Just take the check and go home.
Aunt May and the Black Cat.
I know. You go to the psychiatrist's office if you want to, but no. Yeah. Fun.
So Morgan, who did you say did the casting?
Don Jerwich.
Don Jerwich.
The original bunch. She did like
Yep.
the first 2 or 3 shows, and then Wally Burr came in, and Wally Burr took over the directing.
There
And
you
so any characters that came in after that, then Wally would call people in and audition. Or, my God, he'd been directing voiceover for so long that he just kind of knew who he wanted to use a lot of the time, you know. But Screen Actors Guild suggests that you have auditions, otherwise there would be 4 or 5 people
Mm-hmm.
everything. Yeah.
Well, I've heard nothing but good stuff about Wally Burr over the years, about how he brings the best out of actors, and so that's why I was wondering if he had any role in the casting. But it sounds like he didn't
Oh, yes.
have any role in your casting.
Of course, yeah. I mean, he'd been at Hanna-Barbera for a long time. He'd done other stuff for Marvel. I can't remember when Marvel became Sunbow and all that jazz, but yeah, he worked for them too. So he had his pulse on the voiceover sound. Yeah.
So I actually wanted to ask, where are you from originally? Are you from California originally? Are you an East Coaster? Ohio? Okay. Gotcha.
Wait, where are you from in Ohio? I have to ask because my parents live in a very small town in Ohio that no one from Ohio has ever heard of.
Well,
so where are you from in
my grandmother
Ohio?
lived in South Vienna. Does that help?
Okay, yes,
Never
I do know
heard
where
of
that is.
either. Okay, I
Yeah.
come from Cincinnati.
Okay.
Okay.
I was in Dayton last summer, and I was 40 miles away from where my grandmother lived. It was one of those little towns that used to be on old Route 40 before they put in the big new, 70 or something that goes across. Yeah.
And what
it's
town is
Route
that?
40, everybody. It's not Route 40. It's Route.
It is Route 40. That's right. It's just north of the Holler, and off to the side of the creek. No, my parents live in Gallipolis, Ohio.
And where's that?
It is across the bridge from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and right along the Ohio River.
Okay.
And no one's ever heard of it.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. But it must be really pretty.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a little French colony town that I believe is so small it's almost been reclassified as a village a couple of times.
Oh my God.
But enough about me. Should we watch a cartoon?
Oh, no, I'm fascinated. I'm a historian. Okay, so the French passed through and they didn't keep going to the Grand Tetons. They stopped and
they left a bunch of fleur-de-lis on everything. I'm not even kidding. It is the icon of the town.
okay.
So there's a fleur-de-lis on everything. And then I guess the French just hung out. They're like, hey, this is good. We found a nice chunk of Ohio we like.
Okay, I was in Carcassonne.
Okay, yes.
Where they have, when Kevin Costner did Robin Hood, that was where they shot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I got talking to the armorer. I got to hold some of the original, heavy duty.
Ooh.
Yes. Longbows, crossbows. My God, they're heavy. Holy mother. Anyway, oh God, what was I gonna say? Gone. Oh, the fleur-de-lis.
Yes.
It's a flower, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you invert it, it's a sword.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Tom, did you know that?
I did not know that.
Well, you've learned a little something today, my friend.
I've learned. Finally, I've learned something. I was just going to say it's interesting that that the town that you're from is downgraded to a village, because you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Because I'm the village idiot, Tom. Yes,
There
yes,
you
we
go,
know.
Brandon.
Oh,
Thank you.
You never let me down.
He's the Florida idiot. The Florida idiot.
Well, that's great. Thanks, Tom.
Okay,
It's sure been great to see you.
Brandon.
I just got dumped on by the Baroness. Okay, so
basically, I just want to real quickly. So the idea of the show is that everybody's stuck at home, and we wanted to do something that would be fun for the fans and something that would be entertaining for men like us who are
Bored. Beep beep.
well, we're 8 to 7 years old at heart. We got stuck emotionally with G.I. Joe and have never outgrown it. So
That is very true.
You might need to forgive us if every now and then we sing along with the theme song, or as we're watching, we start talking about had that, didn't get that, always wanted one of those.
Oh,
So,
wait.
Oh, she's about to start showing toys. Here we go.
Coming back.
The show and tell portion of our show. Yeah, what you got there?
Ooh.
That's the 12 inch. Is that a club figure? So you got this.
Yes, Rosemary Ward gave you this.
Nice.
Oh,
Fantastic. That
Her
is
shoes
pretty.
keep falling off, but what can I say?
Wow.
That's good looking stuff.
I was very excited to get this a few years ago. Just not a cooler looking figure around the Baroness. Such a great design.
Yep.
So
Indeed.
I'm watching the Baroness with the Baroness.
Okay.
So Morgan, you spent 6 years of your life on G.I. Joe from 1983 to 1989. You were in the Operation Dragonfire miniseries that did after Sunbow. Deke, I always call it.
No,
Deke, Carson.
right.
That's for
Dick, honey. No, it was
Language, Carson, language.
So,
It was Dick. Yes.
now, did you guys that worked on the Deke series, did you refer to them as Do It Cheaper? I've heard that there was using.
So you know that they went to Canada.
Okay.
And I'm not knocking the Canadian people, but the cartoon voiceover people were in LA. They didn't have the depth.
Gotcha. And so they only engaged with you for that first mini series too. Is that why? Because they wanted a cheaper Canadian talent?
Well, yeah, it came after the strike, the cartoon strike. You know.
Okay.
And we all know that the big balance of the money is spent on the actors.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's so sad. Everybody recognizes I'm being sarcastic. Right?
yes, there were hints. There were indications you may have been being sarcastic.
Kind of there. Anyway.
I can tell you it doesn't show up for the animators or character designers either.
Tom is an animator. He knows.
Yeah, they were all coming out of where? Korea, Japan, something.
Yeah.
You know, and it struck me long ago, before I had 2 brain cells to rub together, that if you send the work out of the country, then the people who might want to actually buy something connected to the product wouldn't be making the money. Okay.
Right.
So
One of the things we've been noticing as we've been watching is the difference in quality from episode to episode. Because of how many different production houses they had to use. There are some episodes where the characters look a lot more cartoony or just off in strange ways. So it's been kind of fun to rewatch it.
I have no idea because you guys watched my voice, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know that Chris and I did our voices in LA.
Together? Were you together?
No.
Never.
You went in separately?
No, that's not, that's not the way you generally do the cartoons. You do them singly. I mean,
I wanted to believe. Otherwise. I do know better.
Now, when you would go in for voice, did they have you do a couple episodes at a time, or was it just one episode at a time?
No.
How did they book you?
We would do a table read, all of us together. Then we would get up on mic. Yes. Wally took a while. He put out a great product, and you can see this if you turn off the sound on the shows, or even if all you could do was turn off the dialogue. It's like nothing's happening because there's limited motion. This is all hand drawn, Jay.
Right.
But no, then a couple of us would stay and record and just the scene, and then a couple would leave, and you'd hang out. And no, his sessions took a lot longer than sessions do now. 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours is max. we would be there at 4 to 5 to maybe more.
Gotcha.
Was that typical of the time? So other shows that you've
I think it was typical of him because he had a very, and the soundtrack, the voice track does drive the shows.
Yeah.
But it was, sometimes it was just incredibly grueling to be there. And, you know, is it over yet?
Surprise.
Do I need to go home and dye my hair again? Oh, yeah, there are recruits. Okay, yeah.
I'm
So,
surprised
You look
to hear that.
fantastic.
I'm really surprised to hear that because everybody talks about him so fondly and that he brought up like such good performances in people. But to hear that he was a kind of a drill sergeant that kept you there twice as long as anybody else, that's insightful.
I'm kind of surprised that you had a table read. Is that something that was common then?
I think after a show had been going for a while, a lot of people would just sit down without a table read. It depends on the director. It depends on how they feel about the script, how confident they feel in it. I mean, after a while, a character sort of knows where they're going, you know?
Right.
Let me add that I also lived with Wally for like 8 years.
Oh, wow. That's a different episode. I feel like we could have a dozen questions or so just focused on that one little morsel.
Well, let's start the show and see where this takes us.
Okay. What do we see? Oh my God, a big surprise. Okay.
This is episode 8 of G.I. Joe Debriefed. That's our podcast, our video podcast. This is the second mini-series. It's called The Revenge of Cobra. And this is part 3, which is called The Palace of Doom. And luckily, whoever scheduled Morgan did a good job because Baroness is featured in this episode. So good job, scheduler. Robert Atkins,
Excellent.
thumbs up.
I do want to give a shout out to Chris over at Celebworks, who I've been working
Thank
with.
you.
Oh God, Chris and Neri.
Yeah, so they do such a
guys.
good job, and they've been really helping us kind of coordinate this.
Good. They're my guys.
So they get you out to a lot of the shows. And so when did you start doing appearances when it came to like the conventions and things like that?
The first one was with Fun Public, and it was probably 8 or 9 years ago. It was in Orlando. Fun Public.
Oh, I think that I met you there too as well. I think some of the finest, or some of like the initial, Joe Colton and so a few of those others that were there kind of with the finest, they presented you with this plaque. Do you remember that? There's a plaque with like a kind of a chest armor. Like
God, yes.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a long time ago.
So I was there. I know I was there with you when they were.
Yeah. That was. Wow, I'm not sure where we were. I can remember I had to ship it home. I got so much stuff that people gave me at that convention.
I guess so. That was your first one. That was the first time you set up, right?
No, it wasn't the first one. No, the first one was Orlando.
So have you been surprised by the reaction when you go out and fans come to see you?
All right. A lot of people who are listening will have heard this before, but I was doing a show in the 90s. I don't know, it was an industrial movie or something like that. And I was talking to the assistant AD, blah, 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 and I said, oh yeah, I'm the voice of the Baroness in G.I. Joe. And there was this silence. And the first time I realized that there was something more than my just having done a voice job 10 years before. Yeah, it was weird. It takes some adjusting to, because when I first started doing the cons, guys, and it was usually guys because that was the people that were allowed to watch. If you're a little girl, you don't want to watch that. Oh, God. Anyway, so it's mostly guys, but guys will come up and they'll bring their wife and their kids. And you got to accept. It took me a while. It wasn't a gag. It wasn't a put on. That these shows were immensely vital to the kids. Some of the kids. Some of them were just kicking back. But some of the kids were really, really using us as a way to get through their lives. It was, yeah.
We're still using you to get through our lives.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's an exaggeration that you can look at the four of us and, for at least Robert and I and Brandon, we've built a career off of,
It's true.
the time we spent playing with those toys. We became professional imaginers, and G.I. Joe and Star Wars and things like that.
Professional imaginers. Okay.
Tom, that was
but
surprisingly
it's
articulate and lovely for you.
Thank you. But it's very true, and G.I. Joe played a big part in that for all of us. So when we see people like yourself, it's emotional for us because I can look around my house and look at my kids and say, thank you.
It's just but from my point of view, I had to adjust to it. Oh my God, it's Chris Latta. Okay.
Were you glad that you didn't have to record in the same room with him?
Well, the evildoers used to hang out together once in a while.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm as tall as Zartan? Well, I didn't know.
It's the heels.
It's the heels,
Heels.
Oh God! And when I go to these, shows, and there's Sarah Dietrich and Joe Colton, and they're all wearing 5-inch platforms, and they're both tall too. And there's this little blonde in the middle. Oh my God! I love them. I love all the cosplay stuff.
Shout out to our finest family. They're good people, and they make all the conventions a heck of a lot more fun.
Yes,
Absolutely.
they do. And they teach other people how to. I know that. I don't know if Sarah does it, but I know that. Whatever. I remember that Joe used to have panels where she would talk about building this and building that.
Yep. I've seen her do that. No, I did an Orlando convention, many years ago. And Angie Dupuis was there, and she was dressed as Scarlet, and she sat with me while I was signing books, and I literally couldn't concentrate on signing books for people because Scarlet was sitting next to me. And it was a thrill, and it's not like I'd never seen a cosplayer before, but she was Scarlet.
Yeah. Oh, I had wonderful people come up and do the voice for me, and oh God.
So where does that Baroness voice come from? How did you arrive at that?
No idea. Really no idea.
Have you received any direction?
Oh yeah, when you you know that book that Jim Sorensen and Bill Forster put out?
Yep.
The whole book. In volume 2, in the afterward, I explain what happened on the audition. Well, as much as I remember.
Right.
My curated memory. You get a little bit of script, little tiny bit of script. You get a little description of the character, and I remember getting a black and white drawing of what she was going to look like. So you've got some ideas. And somewhere in the character description, it must have said something about Middle European, because I don't know what hat I pulled that out of. I mean, and it's a bastard accent. Anybody from Middle Europe, what are you talking about? I never heard anybody say anything like that. Anyhow, yes. So, and I figure, oh my God, it's Neil Ross. Okay. Oh, and Bill Ratner, right?
It is.
And DJ Ward.
So is it like seeing old friends when you go back and watch these cartoons? Hearing their voices, does it take you back?
I think of them more as the people in the faces.
Of course.
I know.
Yeah.
Morgan, how long has it been you've watched this cartoon?
Ages. Oh, I did watch the one from Springfield.
Uh-huh.
I watched that last night. Yeah, I just wanted to see what that was kind of all about, because I hadn't realized that this Springfield connection, because there was a Springfield in every state, so they could be anywhere at any time.
I always did really enjoy whenever I got to send out artwork or prints or something like that. I got to sign my name, just my address, from, they were getting a package from Springfield.
Oh,
That was a blast.
yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now, which character's name is that? I don't know that character.
That's Roadblock.
Roadblock.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the other two are codenamed Mountain Lion 1 and Mountain Lion 2, I think.
Mm.
I wonder who voiced them, though.
And are they going to pull off there? Probably Frank Welker, you know.
Yeah.
Who did the squeaky wheel? Frank, come on up. You know.
Well, anybody all tied up in a Cobra truck has got to be my kind of man.
Cobra truck, my hush puppy.
IMDb, Frank Welker, 400, 500 something.
Yeah,
characters.
it's crazy.
Yes, seriously. Oh my God. I did this, I don't think we were even doing G.I. Joe yet. He is the most talented, unassuming actor I have ever met. He was playing, I don't know, kind of an Igor, and I was playing the witch, and we were doing a little cartoon industrial thingy. And the producer came up to him and she said, "So have you done much?" And all he said was, "Oh yeah." You know, no great need to go. Well, last week I was, you know, all
Right,
that
right.
intimidating bullshit. Yeah.
Oh.
Who's that?
She's the cute freckled girl.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
temporary character.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't get attached, Morgan.
Okay, no, I wondered who did her voice. I can't really hear the show. But I wondered who did her voice.
Okay, so we usually stop the cartoon at the commercial break.
Oh, I guess you just stopped the cartoon. Okay.
Let's see. Should be back on you guys. And I had a couple quotes or feedback for you. Hello, Miss Lofting. It's Morgan, by the way, Dino. She wants to be called Morgan. You voiced the Baroness perfectly in the cartoons. So
Thank you.
Dino's buttering you up. Now, Philip is cutting right to the hard stuff, and he said that Wally was still missing you in those later years, as he so weirdly told Philip back at BotCon in 2011.
Mhm.
So, those years are remembered fondly, Morgan.
Wally really had no idea who I was. I said I was going to go back and finish my education, which I did and which I adored. I went to school forever. Magical. And he said, "I don't know why you're doing this." So
Like-
Wally had me in a little box.
Keep you in a little box.
I don't do the little box, Mel.
Yeah. Neither should you. All right, so we will jump back on the cartoon here. I didn't get a chance to really peruse the comments too much, so I will have more.
No, he's right. I'm sure Wally said all this.
Oh, Wally.
Wally.
He's with us now, Wally. If only for the next 15, 20 minutes. But so I always like to ask this of anybody who has a storied career. Is there anything you ever said no to that you wish you hadn't?
Yes. Oh, this was a long time ago when my son was little. Diane Keaton and Woody Allen were doing, oh my God, what's the name of it? The thing about Sam Spade with the Humphrey Bogart lookalike. Brain gone. Okay. Play it again, Sam.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. See if you wait long enough.
That's right.
Anyway, and I was invited to go on the road in the Keaton character. And my son had just started school and stuff. And there's always been an element of fear so I sort of do this forward and backward dance with the business. And it's only been recently that I've felt kind of capable, but I was always afraid. And so that, I need to go on the road.
Right.
Oh, that would have, but my God, what an ask. Yeah, so.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes, I'm so glad you had an answer. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been better if I didn't have an answer, but never mind. Oh heavens, here are all the nameless people. All the
Yes.
Sam Rockwells of the cartoon world. Oh my God. I saw the documentary on Galaxy Quest.
It is
I saw that.
my wife's favorite movie, and we couldn't wait to watch that documentary. And it's so good. Like, it is an entertaining movie in and of itself.
Just unbelievable.
Sam Rockwell is one of my favorite actors, so you just kind of
Jojo
said a
Rabbit.
magic word for me.
You
Yes.
have seen
Yes.
Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
He
Okay.
Listen, I was all in from Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. That
Yes.
movie,
Yes.
it's perfect. I wouldn't change a single shot in that film. But yeah, Jojo Rabbit, he was fantastic.
I don't want to linger
He's
on
been-
Sam Rockwell too long, but Tom, did you see Fosse Verdon?
I have
I
not
haven't
yet.
seen that yet, and I want to.
It's amazing.
Okay.
I've been very busy the last year or so I haven't been able to sit down to pay attention to it the way I would like to.
It's brilliant, and Rockwell
Yeah.
is beyond
Oh,
great.
and the casting in JoJo is just incredible. Scarlett Johansson is the best thing she's ever done, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It was my favorite movie of last year, hands down. I couldn't
Yeah.
love it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We
Although
rented it and
I
bought
say
it
I
as it
like
was over.
Parasite. And
Parasite.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was a beep shame that Little Women wasn't recognized, because there is a piece of incredible work. The way she blends Alcott and Joe, and oh my God.
I really wanted to see that. That's still on my list.
Well, make sure you watch the extras, because you know how some extras are just like, yawn. You're going to explain the movie to me, huh? And these are really good. Yes.
So what kind of entertainment are you drawn to? I mean, I assume you probably don't spend a lot of time watching cartoons from the 80s. So what are you drawn to as a creative person yourself?
I am fairly eclectic.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, I can't even think what I've seen. Oh, there's something on Netflix called Unbelievable with Merritt Weaver and Toni Collette that I really like. I mean, these are Baroness figures, not cliches for now, when women can actually be in charge of stuff, you know.
Yes.
I can't think what else I've seen. I'm very lucky because I'm in Screen Actors Guild. Come December, I get all the screeners.
Yeah.
So I can see everything. But the screeners don't have the extras, because the extras haven't been constructed yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
So
I can't even think. I read all over the place. I read art history from the ancient Greeks and Romans, and I read crazy mysteries from Venice, and
Yeah. So growing up in Ohio, were you a theater kid? Were you at the movie theater all weekend?
No, my parents were at the Cleveland Playhouse. We ended up in Cleveland.
Gotcha.
And they were at the Cleveland Playhouse, and then my father wanted to go to New York because you've got television happening, which was a good move. He did a lot of television.
Your parents were in the arts?
Yeah. I'm sorry to say that my mother was an actor, but she gave it up because, you got to figure out the time. There can only be one star in the family. That crap. I grew up in that era. Thank you.
Wow.
Very much.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But what he didn't do is he didn't come out to Hollywood. And there was a certain point where New York was the it scene.
Mm-hmm.
But then everything came to Hollywood.
Yeah.
So he didn't come out. So he did, he did some plays and he did some movies back there. But yeah.
So where were you? Were you in?
I was in New Jersey. We were in New Jersey. We were right across the river.
Were you drawn to the stage, or did you want to go into film? Like what?
was kind of wandering around like I haven't finished idea what to do with myself. I did a lot of acting in high school. And I did a lot of fun acting because it was an all-girls high school.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Guess who got to play the evil Bishop Peyramal? Yes.
So there's some
I
typecasting
guess
going
who
on.
really turned out to be a religious skeptic also. You know, there were a lot of things converging here. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, just fun stuff. But it was great. We did The Wizard of Oz. And guess who
Really?
Hmm.
I feel like the Wicked Witch would be too obvious of an answer.
Too
but
obvious. Yeah.
I am Oz, the great and terrible.
Ah!
Right. So anyway, we did a show of it. This was a great table read. They had, where were we? We were Raleigh last summer. They had taken a lot of the scripts and just pulled scenes out. And I remember Arthur and I were up there and on this particular table read, and they had people from the audience, either who were actors in the area or people who just won a lottery, and we all came up and we all read anyway. They had a scene from something, and I went, because I knew who I was going to be, and they said, oh no, I was the ingenue. And it was so cool. I got to be the ingenue. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Morgan, we got a question from Stephen Koch. He wanted to know what kind of projects are you working on now?
From home?
Yeah, right. You got a voiceover booth in your closet with the.
No, I don't have that kind of a closet. If you can see here, this is my microphone. This is my music stand. And my dear agent, Arlene Thornton, will give me a call once in a while to do, you know, an audition. Yay! But see, I left the game for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you leave the game for long enough, everybody thinks, oh, she died. Well, here you go. No, so it's hard to come back because everybody who knew who I was, well, they've probably died, you know. So anyway, yeah.
Was that related to you going back to school and kind of changing paths? Or?
Oh yes, yes. But oh my God, I wouldn't give up my school for anything. There is very little that I can't pick up and read and somehow connect with. And when somebody starts to talk to me, I pull down the map, I roll out the time scheme, and I have to locate myself. And then we're off, you know. So yeah. No,
awesome. When you tend to go to these conventions and you meet these fans that grew up, you know, watching the cartoon and crushing on the Baroness, how hard is it every time that you meet these people, they ask you to do the Baroness voice?
Oh, that's not hard. And you know what most people say? Can you still do it? Well, no, dear, but I'm, you know, yeah. Oh, yes. They do. I've never understood that. Why they
think you forgot how to do it?
Or they think I keep it in a little bag and I just pull it out if I'm in front of a microphone. I have no idea. No idea.
I remember when we had dinner at JoeCon at the little VIP dinner.
I wish I remembered.
It's okay. I don't take it personal.
But you dropped something, Carson. Jeez.
But I made a point of sitting there the whole dinner and not asking you to do the voice because I knew like it's just got to be annoying. So then at the end of dinner, you broke it out, and I was like, the little kid in me was so happy.
Oh God! You know what I'd love to do if there's a dais and back and forth and questions and everything, to stand up and say, all right, everybody, now we're going to yell Cobra. And I get off the mic because we're not going to do that. And 1, 2, I just let the room ring.
You can yell. We can do it with you if you want.
Yeah.
Carson.
Okay, if you want to.
He told Carson this is his early birthday present today.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'll totally do
He's
it.
going to sleep good tonight. He's real wound up.
Mic and my Mac, probably, I'm not going to scream it out. All right, ready?
Yes.
Cobra!
Ah, that's our screenshot for tomorrow. Thank you, Morgan.
Oh,
We got to pick like the
I
one
know,
frame
right,
where we
yeah.
all had a
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
That's gonna be the moment.
I like that.
My poor dog just looked at me like, what is wrong with you?
No.
So Morgan, have you ever been given something and you just said, I will not say this. I will not say this, or my character would never say that. No?
No.
No.
Anything's game.
I mean, I know that there are some commercials that if I were asked to do them, I would go, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, in
She
fact,
really hates Hamburger Helper, guys.
there was a on-camera commercial that I went out for in January that was being done right at the last minute for Super Bowl. And it was a kind of a commercial where it was, you know, the old woman who doesn't get it, who can't find her way out of her telephone or what. I thought, my God. So I did it, and it was supposed to be a big laugh riot with a wonderful comedian, and I have no idea who she was going to be, and I thought, oh, so I did it, and I gave him like 3 different versions, but I thought, no, it's too
That's not you.
easy. It's like having the dumb dad and the, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get really tired of that. It's such a hackneyed shtick.
Yeah.
It's just lazy writing. Right, Brandon?
I think it's a state of, I think it's a state of mind too. I really do. It's a state of mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I have stood white-haired in front of things in museums, really pondering, and somebody will come up to me and explain it to me.
Oh wow.
Oh my.
Lovely.
That goes over well.
Now that might just might be them just trying to talk to you.
No, they have no idea who I am. I'm a lady with white hair, therefore I need help. Help!
Wow.
Save me. Somebody's trying to attack me because I have white hair.
Wow. Morgan, what would you say is your favorite, your highlight of your career? And I'm not leading you to say G.I. Joe. I'm curious, what project do you look back on and think that was the high water mark for me as an actress? It could be the on-camera stuff, the voiceover. Actor, yes.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like. Oh, so since everything then was a downhill slide, who knows? Yeah, you know, like there. Things that I've really enjoyed doing. Sometimes just characters that you pull out of God knows where at the last minute in a cartoon session. I mean, I suppose on stage, because it's such a kick. It's just, I did a play in town, oh my God, 1,000 years ago, called Late Snow. And we had groupies. And they came back and it was amazing. And I remember
Stage door Johnnies.
Stage door Janies, because it was oh God, what was her name? I've forgotten the author's name. Jane Chambers. Thank you. Mine. Okay. Jane Chambers. It was a lesbian play. And my mother came to see us. She'd come out from New Jersey to come to the play. And she had been an actor. You know, it's cool. I said, it's a lesbian play. She said, fine. Okay. So she's out in the audience with these other ladies, and they're watching I'm sure there were some guys there too, and watching the show. And somebody turned to her and said, well, Mrs. Morgan, you know what this is about, right? Talking about little white-haired people. And she said, no, because she didn't know the plot. She knew the theme.
Right.
But anyway, apparently everybody in the row went,
All right, should we get back to the show?
He's contemplating swearing.
No.
Just with your knees, Robert.
I had I did a show with Robert years ago in my hometown in Pennsylvania, and I had the best time tormenting Robert by spending the weekend telling people horrible stories about Robert's behavior that were all completely untrue.
Yep.
But I
Oh, I
spent the
would
weekend.
imagine they are.
Oh, you know, Robert is the nicest, sweetest person. He's like the living embodiment of Clark Kent, and you
That's
know,
a terrible
everybody.
thing to say about me.
Oh no, but like the Christopher Reeve Clark Kent. The Christopher Reeve Clark Kent. But no, I spent the weekend telling people how Robert had been a belligerent drunk the night before, and I had seen him smack several children just just for coming near him.
Oh, I can see it. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Greg Berger.
It's always the quiet ones, Morgan. He's a man on the edge. You can look at him and you can just see it. It's just under the surface.
He's going to fall asleep on the couch at any moment talking about the edge.
Well, he's already smacked a lot of children today. He's tired.
I know. It's like
Oh, there you are.
There's our girl.
I no doubt I'm saying something profound.
You have one job on that ship.
Push that button.
Oh God! Oh, what's that great line, Sigourney Weaver? This is the one thing that I get to do, and I.
Gonna do it.
Oh.
What a shame they didn't get to make more of those.
Oh no! I'm glad they did. Oh no! Oh please! Oh God! Son of Galaxy Quest, cousin of Galaxy Quest. It's okay with me. I'm not a big fan of how many times can we repeat ourselves.
Agreed. Yeah. I think it can live in amber forever and never have to be repeated.
Yeah. Oh yes. What a great film.
So one thing we were talking about on another show is that as young boys, G.I. Joe presented female characters in such a way that, like, we were happy to get our hands on a Baroness figure or a Scarlet or a Lady J. They were just as important to us, and a lot of that belongs to the actors. And I just wanted to thank you because G.I. Joe taught us that girls were equal, and we never thought twice about it. We had a real long conversation about this. It was a key part of it for us.
You were a kid?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had a long conversation about it?
No. We on a previous episode of the show talking about when we were kids.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
But I wanted a Baroness as quickly as I could find one.
It was also just
the problem.
It was also just one of the better figures. It had the plastic hair piece. I think that was the first time we had seen that. So that the idea that hair didn't have to be weirdly tapered to the head, because the rest of the women action figures had these weird haircuts. Scarlet, CoverGirl, they didn't look right. Baroness's figure looked right.
She was the original Becky with the good hair.
Well, I think it wasn't so much that we thought about those things. It was when we were kids. It was that we didn't think about those things.
Yes,
I know what you mean.
It was just accepted, and Scarlet was part of the team. Lady J was part of the team. Baroness was in the leadership. There was no second class to them because they were female.
Isn't that
they were equal.
That's the best way it will work for anything. But it's hard to get to that point.
Yes.
It's really hard to get to that point on a lot of We carry all our stuff with us. We don't even know we're dragging it along.
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good for you guys.
Well, we owe it to you. So.
I'm always a little surprised when I encounter Joe fans who somehow missed the message on inclusion and all for one for all.
It was all right there.
Well, it's kind of like Animal Farm. All animals are equal, except pigs are more equal than others.
Yeah.
Good old Napoleon, right?
Oh yeah.
That was in Trivial Pursuit the other night.
Napoleon and Snowball.
There you go.
My son,
You were playing Trivial Pursuit the other night? Were you in 1994?
I smoked my wife. We went out and bought the game. It went down to the wire too. We had all the pieces, and I made it to the middle
Oh
first.
my God. I was playing Scattergories the night before last, online, Zoom time, you know.
This is
Yeah.
quarantine life, you know. We gotta
Yeah.
find some ways to spend the time. I'm out here
Fair
building
enough, fair
garden
enough.
boxes, and stuff ain't normal over here.
I think I just thought of our next podcast, guys. We need to do, what was the one, Pictionary? I think we need to do a Pictionary, but just professional artists.
Oh,
Nice, that would be
Oh.
fun. Try to
I think
predict
that
who the
would be a
artist
lot
was.
of fun.
wow.
Well, no, not even that. Just it's professional. It's teams of professional artists doing Pictionary.
Wow.
I think that would be fun.
It's
Wow.
an interesting thing
Yes.
because I find that even if you're a professional artist, that doesn't mean that you're great at Pictionary. Being able to very quickly depict something with as few lines as possible isn't my strong suit.
Yeah.
That's what your editor says, yes. Oh, no.
yes. Can you imagine all the snark that's gonna fly if you've got all the professionals?
Oh, I can't even
I
imagine.
think that's a very interesting idea, though. Well, anybody who didn't like to draw like that didn't get to play. You know, they wouldn't want to play. Who's the blonde? I want to know who the blonde is. Are you sure it's not Cover Girl?
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
no,
covered art.
definitely not.
No. Okay. We need to look at the cast list. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I'm
somebody-
sure Carson can pause that for us.
Arthur.
Arthur Burgart, Mr. Destro. He's an amazing voice.
Whoa.
So in the past, we've talked about
Arthur.
arts.
You know. Yeah. Oh no, it's always
What is
like,
happening?
What? Oh, that's the other. Yeah.
Yep. So I was just gonna show you guys the voiceover talent if I can pause it on the right moment. Hopefully they should be credited at the end. There you go.
Okay. All right.
Look at you, top right corner.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Hey, they have an L at that point. Okay.
Top billing.
Sally
Yep.
Julian, maybe. I'm looking for a woman that I don't recognize, so I'm assuming that Sally Julian.
Yes.
Unless
Honolulu West.
there you go. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All
so that was Sally
Okay.
Julian.
Because you've got to know that when you go in to do a cartoon, you also get to do two other voices if they ask. That's what you're being paid for. You know?
Really? It's just to be
yeah.
expected that you're going to pick up some extra characters.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty standard from what I've heard, from other voice actors.
I mean that's the SAG contract.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
right.
sure.
So looking at this list of
Got
names,
group
before you pause it,
and all that jazz, and
Mhm.
sure.
There you go, Tom.
so
Crazy
looking at
lady
this,
in the crowd, or yeah.
so looking at this list of names, who do you have really good dirt on?
Oh my
Like
God.
if we're looking for leverage to use against someone to get more people on, now I've met Keone and
Keone. Yeah,
Storm
Keone.
Shadow.
Yeah.
He was Storm
Yeah.
Shadow, right?
I
Yes.
did a show. I've forgotten her name. Chris Latta's daughter. Oh my God, she was so good. So good. And the last time I'd seen her, she was like 3 years old. And there she was, all grown up.
Wow.
Wow. She's good. She's good. I don't know if she's still working or not, but she's good.
Awesome.
Well, guys, is this when we officially make the request to hear the Baroness?
I wasn't going to ask. I didn't want
Carson was. Carson was going to.
Was it? Oh, you want to blame me?
I do. I
You wanna
do.
blame- Okay, I'll take the fall
Just
for
real
it.
quick, my son happened to pop his head in, and he was like, "Hey, are you guys still recording?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." Put myself on mute just real quick. He goes, "Wait, are you talking to the Baroness?" I was like, "Yeah, she's here. She's right here." Here, kind of pop in here real quick. Say hey.
Hello. What do you
Aw.
want? Hey.
So that's my son
Hi.
Connor, and then it was right here. They said, "So who's gonna ask her to do the Baroness?" And Connor was like what? I was like, "What?"
What do you want me to say?
Ladies' choice, please.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does anybody have a favorite line? I don't. just want to scream Cobra. We did that already. Thank you very much. Oh, I don't know, guys. Come on. You want to go out and you want to go out with a big bang, right? So give me a line.
You love Lieutenant Falcon. It's my favorite.
You love Lieutenant Falcon. We know about you now. Yes. Okay.
It's true. This is true.
For my son, could you say, Connor, you're in big trouble?
Oh, Connor. Connor, darling, you are in big trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, now pull off your face and show us it was a mask the whole time. Never mind.
I only do that at the cons. That's why I say to everybody, I say, well, this is just a pseudo moron.
Well, now, I have to ask. So when you see these cosplayers come up, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
And yes, my heart is beating faster. But so I have to ask. So when it absolutely there's something primal. I don't know about the other guys, but you hear that voice and you are 7, 8, 9 years old again.
Oh my God!
Without hesitation.
I just wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's imprinted on us on such a visceral level.
I guess.
Yeah. So when you see the cosplayers, have you ever thought, I wonder if they would build one of those for me? Have you ever thought about dressing up as the Baroness? Halloween
wait.
or
okay. If she comes back in costume, I'm retiring because I can't go any further in life.
I don't know where it is.
The shipwreck voice actor actually shows up.
Neil Ross.
Yes,
we were talking about that the other show. That
oh my God! Yes,
he looks the part, man.
He does. He's still lean. Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? I don't know where my gun is. I am so sorry. I have
Quite
to have
all right.
a gun because I had a Halloween outfit that I wore a couple times. With the boots and the terribly cheap wig.
Right.
Anyway, yes, but the gun, yeah. And
A cheap wig on a priceless head.
Oh, I love Neil's outfit. Oh my God.
He looks the part. He really looks like
Carrot.
Polly.
Yeah.
So now that they're trying to bring G.I. Joe back to films, do you have someone that you would like to see take over the live action Baroness?
Good question.
Listen, I adore Selena Miller as an actor. I really, really do. I refuse to go see the G.I. Joes. I read film reviews. I don't think so. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
No.
I saw it for free and asked for my money back.
And oh Jesus. Okay. Yeah. No, I really like her, but I just no, I've never really.
Assuming they're going to recast.
So they just shot a movie called Snake Eyes in Canada and in Japan, and actually the Baroness does appear in that film. They cast I don't know this lady, Ursula Corbero Delgado. She's a Spanish actress known for her roles as Ruth in the Antenna 3 series, Physics or Chemistry. Yeah, so I don't know anything that she's been in, but Baroness is going to be in Snake Eyes, which kind of gives me hope that the Snake Eyes story is going to tell a little bit wider story than I think some people think it's going to.
Yeah, a picture of her really soon, and yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, she was in Money Heist. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I actually do know who she is.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I told you I'm eclectic.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh my God,
we just do this for fun, and we've had some great guests, and with all due respect to the other guests, I feel like we peaked.
I just love this whole process of talking to people and hearing your stories. I know it's hard to shut me up, but I like.
Oh God, I would listen to you talk all night, please.
True.
Anything, just.
All right, I'll ask a couple more questions. Do you have a favorite memory from the show? Is there any one moment or one episode or one stupid thing that happened in the studio or hanging out after the recordings with some of the cast members? Any one moment that sticks out?
Not really. No. I remember that I would stand there and I'm beginning. Okay, backing up. That sometimes I would do Cobra and just, blow my tonsils out. And Wally would say, "Can you give me a little more?"
Oh, Wally.
And I'm beginning to suspect that the sound engineer was riding it so that they weren't getting what I was doing.
Hmm.
That is not a good memory.
Fair enough.
Got a little PTSD from that one.
Yeah.
So I was looking back at your filmography, and I have to ask about Total Recall.
Oh my God! Yes. Wow. Do you know I have never seen that movie?
Really?
When you say Total Recall, all I see, we were working off the black and white print,
Mhm.
and we were in the studio for a week.
Really?
We covered everything, and yeah. So when you say that, I just pull up black and white pictures.
You have zero recall. I will say this: if you ever have a desire to watch it, I must recommend that you watch it with the Arnold Schwarzenegger commentary, because he recorded a commentary without knowing what one was supposed to be. So he literally just tells you what's happening in the movie.
Oh, he just says what's on the screen.
Well, that's like some of the extras I don't like. Yeah.
It's amazing. No, he will say he'll say, "You see this woman here at the airport? It is not a woman. It is I. It is Quaid. Surprise!" And then he takes off her face.
God!
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not even kidding.
All right, I'll give you an Arnie story. Okay. Derek Wyatt, who was the art director at Ben 10, met me, and he had written a script. A whole bunch of us had read a script at a con in Pasadena, and he wait.
He's right here.
He drew.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Christina for me. He created this character for me. And we got into the recording. I mean, my God, created a character for me. And we got into the recording studio, and I said, "Derek, what do you want it to sound like?" Well, he was a Joe fan, like you guys are. And he said, "Well, I wanted to sound like the Baroness, but I wanted to be deeper."
Oh.
Okay,
Deeper.
all right. Now you pull that out right at the last minute. Okay. So, Christina sounds like Arnie. This is what she sounds like. She's deep, but she's more Austrian than, Middle European. So this is my
Oh
Arnie.
my God.
That's perfect. My daughter
Okay.
loves that
What's
show.
fun? Aunt May, Black Cat, Baroness, Arnie.
Yeah, it's a natural progression.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
All right. Well, I have to go make dinner for my wife and daughter. So
Oh,
There
good
you
man.
go.
Good man.
What you making?
macaroni and cheese and Caesar salad. It's not a fancy night.
Step it up, Brandon.
Oh, Caesar salad. I want some Caesar salad, please.
That does
I'd
sound
invite
good.
you over, but I think we both know that can't happen. Well, let's have a rain check for the Caesar salad for a better
Okay.
time. We will
Okay.
not invite Tom, and we'll have a delightful time.
Morgan, I'll say
I am often the life of the party, whereas Brandon is often the life killer.
yeah.
Oh, I can tell you two have a close bond.
They only grow
Yeah.
closer as the show goes on.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have to say, I've only actually met Brandon in person once.
Oh my
I was at a
God.
show.
Oh, no.
I was at a show in Seattle. I got to Seattle and got suddenly very, very sick. And Brandon's wife at the time was nice enough to go get me medicine and take very good care of me.
Ooh.
And so, I can see why it didn't work out with Brandon. She
Sure,
was very
sure.
nice to me. She took.
What?
Damn.
I remember this show. You showed up. Like,
I think you should shut up now.
you were sick.
Yeah, yeah.
And, yeah, okay.
Okay, Morgan.
Well
I wanna
played,
thank
Tom.
you so much for spending time with us. Seriously, it's amazing.
I have had a blast. Thank you for asking me. Thank you very much.
I
All
do
right.
hope that we get to see you at one of the Joe conventions here in the future.
Oh, I hope
Yeah.
there's something happening. Yeah,
it's such a pleasure
while,
to.
because they're so touchy feely that. Oh, they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
They are.
might have to
Well,
wear
listen,
your
if-
hazmat suit.
If you're ever in Atlanta for Dragon Con or Joe Lanta or one of the shows, I will take you to one of the various fine rib restaurants around here. Or if you're vegan, there are some good vegan places around as well. So that would be my pleasure to thank you for your time with us.
Vegan?
It's really been great.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
That sounds like fun. I've only seen the airport. So, okay.
Oh, God.
I
Well,
know.
the last time Larry Hama was in town, I took him to a place called Fat Matt's Rib Shack, which it looks like a dump from the outside, but excellent ribs and live
It is a
bulls.
dump on the inside, but excellent ribs.
Yes.
All that matters.
All right, for Joe Debriefed,
Yep.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Robert Atkins.
I'm fucking Tom.
There you go. I'm the friendly Fobbit Carson.
And I'm Morgan.
Thank
You
you for
sure
joining
are.
us. Thank you for joining
thank
us.
You. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody that's tuning in, we'll be back next week at 8:30. And Morgan, if you ever want to join us again, just let us know. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, God. Yes.
All right.
Cobra.
Yo, Joe!
Hurrah! Yo, who?
He never gives up. He'll stay till the fight's won. G.I.